Hi guys, we're going to work with Rayon here today. Just a few points about it. Rayon is more difficult to burn. It doesn't suck it up like a cotton ball does and swell up. It runs along the fibers instead on the outside of it. It also runs the same way as Japanese cotton, as in all the fibers line up together. Let's get on with this. You've got your tools, which you need a decent pair of tweezers. That way you can grab a hold of the rayon as you're pulling it through.
Fine point.
Very fine pointed. When you're pulling it through the coil, in case you don't have long fingernails to grab a hold of it, and a pair of scissors that are pretty sharp and pointed. That way you can get into the small spaces you need to. And of course, your rayon. You want to make sure your mod is locked and dry burned and nice and cool, because you don't want to burn yourself. It hurts.
Right.
Did it.
Yeah.
You want to take and cut off about 2 inches. You want to have extra, not less. And then you're done with that rayon. That is enough for both coils and a little bit of extra throwaway. What you want to do is you want to just find about the center portion of it and just split it in half and pull it apart. Like one half of it aside. And I always pull out all the little extra strands that are no longer laying flat. And just thin it down to where it's about the size of your coil. Okay, we just pulled all the loose strands out, and that's pretty much the garbage. Now, if you look here, it looks about half the size of what it was. But it's about a little bit bigger than my coil. But you want to twist one end of it. Now always make one end a little bit shorter, or thinner. Twist it up real nice and tight. And always trim the little hair piece on the outside. That way you're not trying to put a little hair through. And you want to pull towards the negative so you don't mess up the alignment of your coil.
Okay.
It'll be snug, but not too snug to where you're moving your coil. You'll feel kind of like a squeak, and you'll hear a small squeak. Now that end you twist it up, you can cut it off. It's out of your way now. Okay, and it's going to look like I'm over trimming it, but with how this wicks, you don't need a cloud bed. So you just want to trim it at angles a little at a time until you're nice and thin. I want just very few little tails sticking out that way. It doesn't have a whole ton to try and wick through. And yeah, that's good. And then you just do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to have to turn this a little bit. That way I can get to it. And you just do this side the same way. There we go. And then you just want to grab your tweezers. And you just tuck it under. But instead of it being directly under that coil, you want to push it back over to the side, because all those little strands you had down there, they're going to spread out along the deck and suck that up like a straw. Okay, sorry, brain farted there. You want to put this in from the negative side and pull towards the positive, because you want this more snug than cotton, because it does not swell. And again, you'll feel or hear that squeak. And then you cut off the end you twist it up, and I'm going to trim this side too because it's a little too long. And you just want to always start trimming at the top to thin it out real nice and thin. And the side away from the box. I try to leave the back side and the bottom alone, because it's a little difficult to get into. And then you just want to use your fingers and thin it out real nice and thin, and then I always trim those little straggly hairs off. And I always do a little puff of air after I do the shoulders, that way it gets all the loose little threads off. But there will be macro shots in with this, that way you can see what I actually did close up. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. This is my first tutorial. Forgot one thing, guys. This is more thirsty than what you think it is, so it takes a lot more juice to get it all wicked up real nice. I always get a whole lot, because once this is wicked right, it's pretty much almost clear. And with Rayon, once your coils are no longer shiny, you need to drip again. I rarely ever get a dry hit unless I'm just not paying attention. Alright, just a quick production shot. Make sure everything's working right and we got it wicked right. Oh yeah, she looks nice and pretty. Alright, now we'll put the cap on and blow a quick cloud. Make sure it's all working. Alright, now we'll just blow a quick cloud and catch on the flip side.